Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Josh Mall, the voice for Swimming Pool Science, chilling in the spa here tonight with my wife. Are you here with us?
I'm here with you.
All right, cool. Here with my wife, and it was funny. I was kind of inspired to do this video because I saw an interesting article about a senior Indonesian child protective official that put out a statement saying that women can get pregnant swimming with men because of strong sperm. Now, me as a certified pool operator and guy I like to think knows his way around a swimming pool, just happens to be married to someone who knows a little bit about women's health and fertility. This is my wife, Ginger, and she is a certified nurse midwife. You work for Indian Health Services, and so I figured that you and I might be able to dispel some myths about this for those of you that are actually like buying that crap on the internet.
Yeah, that's some pretty virile sperm.
Now, I'd like to think that I have pretty strong sperm. I mean, you said, hey, honey, let's try and get pregnant, and
it worked.
And it worked. We officially conceived every time, and you got pregnant every time. So I'd like to think maybe I
every
qualify.
time you've ever had sex.
I'd like to think I qualify under that. So what are your thoughts? Like, how strong does sperm have to be to do that?
Well, if you remember that, the reason why men have a scrotum is so that the testicles are held away from the body. Sperm need a very specific temperature for survivability, and really that does not apply much outside of the human body. That they kind of need the warmth of a human body to
They
survive.
need that. You need a very specific temperature range.
Very specific temperature
Okay,
range.
so let's talk about pH range. So what are some of the ways that like pH can affect sperm and fertility and things like that?
Well, yeah, pH balance can definitely affect fertility, and one way that some methods of contraception, like a copper IUD, one of the theories that makes the copper IUD effective is by changing the pH of the uterus to where it's not a conducive environment for sperm.
Okay, so let's say the water is 98.6 degrees. Let's say the pH just happened to be perfect. Let's say the man's semen was strong. Is the sperm going to be able to swim through a bathing suit and then get into the pass by the vulva into the vagina and then get all the way up to the cervix and into the uterus of the egg?
Yeah, I would say no. Yeah.
It's not that strong, not even the strongest.
Yeah, not even yours, honey.
Oh. Well, there you have it there, straight from the expert's mouth. Now, what about this? Like, certain times of the month, during a woman's regular cycle, I believe it's every 39 days, you bleed 26 quarts of blood.
Right.
Can you attract sharks in a swimming pool?
In a swimming pool? If there were sharks in the swimming pool, you might attract them.
I guess maybe we can dispel the myth.
Have sharks in your swimming pool.
Is it safe for a woman to swim, not only for herself but for the other bathers, while she is it's during her menstrual cycle?
Absolutely, and she can choose to do that with menstrual protection or free bleeding. That the chemicals in the water will neutralize any blood or any concern for infections that might be in the blood. It will not pass through the water. So a woman can indeed swim if she would like while she's on her period, with or without protection.
Now, in a case like this where you and I are in about a 800-gallon spa and it's just the two of us plus that little turd behind me, that sweet little girl I love so much. She's so... Look at that face. Look at that face. Not a big deal, but imagine this. Let me show you a slide from my good friend Wayne at Taylor Technologies. You know that little blue box I play with just about every day? That's my favorite box to play with. That's courtesy of Wayne's company, Taylor Technologies, one of the best test kits out there. Check out this slide right here.
Oh my God, how many people are in that spa?
Exactly. So that's a very high bather load, and as you know, in a spa, there's very few gallons per people, especially in a spa. That spa. In a situation like that, it can be very difficult to keep the chemicals balanced, and people aren't necessarily going to be showering beforehand like they should. Chloramine levels are going to be high. That's that chlorine smell you might get if you go to an indoor pool or a pool that's really full. So in a case like that, maybe not the greatest place for someone to be swimming to begin with, whether it's a guy or it's a woman on her cycle or a woman not on her cycle.
Oh yeah, sure. Public spas can be unsanitary, but they're not necessarily unsanitary because of a woman's, menstrual blood or a man's potent semen.
Correct.
So the conditions can be unsanitary.
It could be gross when the people in the spa are 3 to 4 times what the maximum occupancy are, because a spa is just not going to be able to keep up.
Correct. The water circulation, I believe.
Yeah.
Right, and the chemicals.
So for all the young ladies watching the swimming pool science page,
I'm sure there's all 2 of you, I bet.
All 2 of you, based on our demographics. What are some things that women need to do specifically? I know as a guy, I dry off and I might rinse off and I go about my day.
Yeah.
Is there any differences? I know the women's reproductive system is a little different. It requires a little more maintenance. You guys got to get your yearly checkup.
Right.
So dispel those myths. Like, what does a woman have to do if she is swimming regularly to keep her equipment in tip-top shape?
Wash like a normal human. Only clean what is seen. So you don't need to put any cleaning agents, any douches, any washes into your vagina. That you clean the exterior, around the vulva, and you wash like a normal person, but don't. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ, so to speak, that it will. A healthy vagina will adjust and adapt and recalibrate for its environment. So if you're swimming a lot, certainly you don't want to walk around in a wet swimsuit or sit in wet clothing all day long, because that might produce yeast or bacterial overgrowth. So that's some consideration to take. But yeah, shower like a normal person after a swim, or at your next convenience, but put on dry clothes in between and go from there.
Okay.
I think I was all over
now
the
you
map
said
on
the
that
vulva and the vagina. What's the difference between those two? What isn't the vagina the part that they show in dirty magazines? What is
These are some very specific questions for a pool operator.
Yeah.
The vulva is the exterior piece, so that consists of the labia majora and the labia minora, so the exterior and medial lips, and the entrance into the vagina. So that's all the vulva. Once you are into the vagina, that is an internal organ. So it's not what you see. You can't see a vagina. Doesn't matter unless
not
you're
without a speculum.
I was gonna
right?
say, unless you're using a speculum and a strong light, and then you can see the walls of the vagina and all the way to the surface. But no, in your nudie magazines and your favorite movies, I don't know, you don't see a vagina. You see a vulva.
Okay. All
shaved or unshaved, or
however it is, they're all different, right?
They're all different shapes and sizes.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Now you have to go swim in the pool. Well, Ginger, I want to thank you so much for putting up with me for another 5 minutes of our lives. We appreciate you dispelling some of those myths, and hopefully, for those that are curious, those that don't know, I sure hope this answered some questions and will ease the minds of people out there. Enjoy yourselves, swim free, live naturally.
Yeah, if your wife told you she got pregnant from swimming in a crowded pool, I would second guess that.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and make sure you hit that little bell to alert you when we do put out a new video, and we appreciate all your support. We'll see you next time.
You haven't swam yet. Make a swim. Not in front of the camera.
Well, I only have 5 seconds to film this stuff because we now live 400 miles away from every swimming pool on the planet.
Okay.
So
Swim. Be
please
good.
swim.